to this pre-symposium. We will take a few minutes to wait for some members to join, and we dive into this wonderful conversation. The host, Frank, you will need to double play the roles you confirm to me. I see some guests or the panelists in. So you'll confirm to me if they are all here. To guide us very well on how the conversation that will flow. Those who are already in, my name is Robert Asimwe. You can add on another name that was given to me in this region. That is Mungudit. And I've been doing my personal research. I wanted to know what my name, the official name, means in Aru. It is Ofoiroth. So you're free to address me any by those four names. Ofoiroth, Mungudit, Asimwe, Robert, and I'll be your moderator today. So feel at home. You can check your mics. You can be checking if your cameras are working. I think we'll have also a photo moment for this pre-symposium where all members will turn on our cameras, and we have that to be on record. So feel at home, and I believe this engagement will be impactful. It will be engaging as we aim to develop Greater Nebi and West Nile at large. Thank you very much.
Mr. Freedom, can you mute your mic for now?
Thank you for that. There are some members in the chat box who are saying that they are not getting the audio.
I am wondering why, but I can hear you well. Robert, I don't know whether you can hear me.
I get you very well.
So that means...
members, when you enter this meeting, please do a service. What service? Tap on the share button and invite all your friends to join us, because this is important to us. We are going to get knowledge for free. Knowledge for free. So A candle loses nothing if it shares light. So invite your friends to join this call. And also, please be informed that this meeting is being live streamed on the YouTube page. And also, you will see a notification on your screen. Those who have joined, it comes immediately to alert you that it is being live streamed. Then also, I think Frank, you'll be helping us on recording. We need a true record. When we start officially, we need a true record of this.
We are doing it on YouTube, so it will be live there on YouTube channel. And later on, whoever wants to follow the discussion can go on YouTube channel, on our YouTube channel, and access the recording.
Okay, please. Thank you very much. Members, thank you for joining in. I see the number is growing. I think at 15 minutes, we should be 15 minutes past 5, we should be starting. The number will be good. Then the host, Frank, of West Nile Youth Agenda, you need to confirm to me if all the panelists are all in the meeting to enable us to start. Otherwise, I welcome you so much to this pre-symposium. Webinar organized by West Nile Youth Agenda. So our topic today, or our sub-theme, will be on harnessing opportunities in agribusiness and agro-industrialization and agro-tourism. In agribusiness, agro-industrialization, and agro-tourism. So you see a lot of agriculture. So to break it down in a layman, business in agriculture, industrialization in agriculture, and tourism in agriculture. I think some people will be scared. How can agriculture be a potential into tourism? There are countries that really evolved into that, and it is contributing heavily into their GDPs, like Nepal. They're picking a lot of money from tourism in agriculture. So here in this symposium, we will see how young people can we be best supported. How young people can we position ourselves? I mean young people, you and the young people in Greater Nebi and West Nile in Uganda. How can we better position ourselves to tap in these opportunities? The experts who are on the panel, who will be taking us through these opportunities. How can we navigate challenges that are existing to see that we position ourselves to pick the fruits that are into these three sectors: business, industrialization, and tourism in agriculture. We are waiting for 2 panelists, and we don't want to leave anybody behind. But also, Frank, I don't know if you are comfortable. We understand this is a pre-symposium, and we're organizing a symposium. a few days ago, we had the first preparatory meeting where we discussed and came up with a roadmap. I don't know if you are comfortable to give us a few milestones achieved in terms of organizing for this symposium, which will be the first ever symposium here in West Nile and Greater Nebi. But also I need to let you know that it will be organized under the theme of unlocking growth, potential, and empowering tomorrow's innovators. Leveraging, yes? I'm hearing some feedback.
I think somebody was, okay, somebody left his or her microphone on. So they are
Okay.
talking.
So Frank, would you be able to give us some information on the symposium to bring members who are here for the first time up to speed to understand in 2 minutes?
Wow, it might go beyond the 2 minutes. I thought our chairperson organizing team was going to do that herself, but I'm not seeing her in. Yeah, but for the interest of time, I can still stay.
Yeah, true. We need to see where are we flowing from, where are we going, what is the purpose. So we know this is a pre-symposium. So what is the symposium about? What are the activities ahead? What activities have we covered as we organize for ourselves for the symposium? You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Robert. This symposium is an initiative of young entrepreneurs from Greater Nebi. And of course, Greater Nebi is found in West Nile, so we usually call it Greater Nebi and West Nile. And we are looking at developing this forum further beyond just the symposium. Beyond just the symposium, where we can share knowledge, share different opportunities we have among the young people and within the country and outside the country, and see how to hold hands of our community members to grow together. And that is the core of it all. But I know somebody would want to ask why this Young Entrepreneurs Trade and Investment Symposium in Greater Nebi and West Nile. Of course, we are looking at this event with several reasons. One, we are looking at the potential benefits that they are like low-hanging fruits within this sub-region, and we are not being tapped on. And yet, they can have huge positive impact on our local community via development. And that is some of the reason why we organize this symposium. And above all, want to look at promoting entrepreneurship in this if young people can adopt this, would be a great thing because we can't rely totally on government for everything. But we can create our own solution locally to solve our problems that we have. One bigger challenge we have here is the lack of limited job. So these entrepreneurs can become job creators that the trickle-down effect of their job creation and offer jobs to others that will support their family or their households. And this kind of entrepreneurs with the innovation they have, they can actually propel more innovators, inspire others, generate new businesses, and bring in fresh products and services to the local market and also international market. So we are looking at this symposium to serve as a platform to encourage and promote entrepreneurship among young individuals, especially the under 40 business and leaders in the region, and also to provide an opportunity for young people to learn which it is something we're doing right now, and to have a platform to connect, because connection is very important, networking, very, very important in this era we are in. But also have a platform where we gain insights into starting and nurturing and growing business at various levels, be it SMEs or medium-term and long-term businesses. We all need that. Through this forum, like Asimwe, you said earlier, that we are learning and it is free of charge. And these are some of the things in the outside world. For example, I do follow talk a lot, the TEDx. You find people pay for some of this kind of information or platforms to get the insights from experts, from people with experience. But we are trying to leverage this and, trying to make it free and open for all of us. So in other words, we are promoting knowledge sharing among ourselves, among the young people, among our experts, the professionals within Greater Entebbe and West Nile. And also we want to harness it, all leverages through these government departmental agencies and NGOs we have around, and to have a deeper knowledge and understanding of the local economic development. And then we all know that symposium gives an opportunity for people to interact, for entrepreneurs to interact with investors, to interact with credit lenders, and sometimes even donors, people who give grants. So through this, that is our hope that through this we'll be able to leverage some of those opportunities. And like you said, to share some of the success stories from last week, we investor who was on this platform and so far has expressed interest in solar plant, that if we have challenge with our electricity in West Nile, why not interest a local investor here, and they partner and build a plant in West Nile to give access to reliable and industrial power, which is also very cheap for the people. So these are the kind of opportunity we are looking at creating through symposium and the pre-symposium. And then also we are looking at regional economic development, and this comes with integrations. And of course, we also have a topic that we'll look at. Last week, our patron hinted on it, the last week's speaker, about African Free Continental Trade Area agenda.
Okay,
so we need
Frank, I request you to summarize in a minute.
Yeah, basically that is what we are looking at. We are trying to innovate, to see what is desirable to our people, and if our people can leverage technology and also have access to marketplaces through some of these information, through this symposium. But in a nutshell, this Greater Entebbe Under 40 CEOs or the Young Entrepreneurs Trade and Investment Symposium, we are believing that will contribute to the economic and social development of Greater Entebbe, West Nile, and Uganda at large by fostering entrepreneurship, creating network opportunities, and providing a platform for learning and collaboration. Is a brief I can give about this symposium and Greater Entebbe Under 40 CEO program. Thank you, Asimwe.
Thank you very much, Frank, for that brief and elaborate diving into the gist that is the symposium. And I want to re-echo it to members that this is a pre-symposium, a road to the main event that Frank talked about, that will be organized on the theme of unlocking the growth opportunities and empowering the tomorrow's innovators. I think, to me, it is innovators of today on the African continental free trade areas. And we are seeing the precursors We are seeing the precursors, the integration. We are seeing countries, presidents of East African countries coming in to coming into a wave of visa, some taxes. So this is it is now, the fruits are hanging. How do we position ourselves and maneuver through? I know challenges are there, and tap into exploit these opportunities. So going back to today's webinar, a pre-symposium, it has been organized on the topic of harnessing opportunities in agribusiness, agro-industrialization, and agro-tourism. So we will structure it into topics on the opportunities in the primary agriculture and agribusiness, agro-processing and value addition, agro-tourism, and market access with export opportunities. So I believe it is a timely platform for us to gain this knowledge and go at the beginning of the year and change our lives. So I'll be welcoming my panel of 5 highly experienced individuals, people who have been walking the talk of what we talked about. But for starters, I talked about these terms of agribusiness, agro-industrialization, agro-tourism. Do we understand them? Let me set the level, the ground level, being leveled, so that we understand. If the subject experts are giving us information, we understand. So when we go to agribusiness, this is the integration of various activities within the agriculture sector, including production, processing, distribution, and marketing of those agricultural products and services. Business: invest, make a profit while giving a service. So when we go to agro-industrialization, this is the process of transforming raw agricultural products into value-added goods through industrial methods and contributing to the economic development and job creation. Not only adding value through industrial methods, but also it contributes to economic development and job creation. So when we go to agro-tourism, this is a niche. It is a type of tourism or a niche in tourism industry that involves visitors or tourists experiencing the life or rural life, agriculture activities, and natural attraction contributing to the local economy. I think as we move forward, these are technical terms that need to be dissected. We will do that, like sustainable agriculture. We understand value addition. You get all the things. So we need also to understand this agribusiness, agro-industrialization, along with agro-tourism. They are crucial aspects of sustainable development, not only in West Nile region. As we discuss in West Nile region as Greater Nebi, our antennas should be high. How do we tap also using the comparative advantages of other regions to maximize? So I'll dive in. I will welcome my panelists who will be discussing these topics. First of all, you will help me. Those who are conversant with Zoom, you can send me thumbs up, you can send me claps as we welcome our panelists. The first panelist, today's discussion will be Peace Ejua Kelement. He is a program leader at TP&O Naro Abzadi. Peace Kelement is a leader for technology promotion and outreach in West Nile region. He's also a coordinator and a facilitator for innovations platform for Africa Rice strategic development agenda under the SADC in Sub-Saharan Africa. Clement is also a leader mentor in group industrialization, in commodity value chain development. He's also a researcher. Thank you very much. You're most welcome. Peace Ejua Clement. You're most welcome. You also allow me to invite on the panel Okaba Godwin, who is a trainer at Uganda Export and Export Board Promotion. To go briefly through his profile, he holds a number of academic credentials. He holds a diploma in crop production and management from Bukalasa Agriculture College. He holds a diploma in general agriculture from Ripon Academic Center, Israel. He also holds a Bachelor's of Science in Agriculture from Uganda Martyrs University, and is currently on his Master's in Climate Change and Disaster Risk Management. From his experience, he's a farmer field school facilitator, field agronomist with Rural Highlands Coffee Alliance. He also worked as a field officer under USAID, Power Africa Uganda Electricity Supply Accelerators. He also doubled as an agriculture extension officer with AFAD, and also a project officer at AFAD, where he implemented projects in nature-based agribusiness and degraded land restoration and climate resilience. He holds specialties in agronomy and enterprises. He is a facilitator with Uganda Export Promotion Board, and he is a facilitator also on farmer field school methodologies. And he can also train on apiary production and management. You're most welcome, Godwin. Then we have also Miss Namugosa Jamila, who is a lead farmer in Wadelai Irrigation Scheme. She is also a registered midwife in charge of maternity at Wadelai Health Center 3. Holds a diploma in midwifery from Rubaga Hospital Training School. He has worked with Pakwach District for 4 years. Also worked with Kiliandongo Refugee Settlement at Panyadoli Health Center 3 for 2 years. His specialty are in soybean production, maize, tomatoes, and onion production. You're most welcome, Miss Jamila Namugosa. Then we have another panelist, that is James Wanadi. He's an Agri Extension and Procurement Officer with Agri-Exim. He's an agriculturalist by profession and a student of climate change and disaster risk management at Muni University. He is a CEO of Paddyland Enterprises Limited, also a chairperson, agricultural professions in Greater Nairobi. He currently works as the head of Agri Extension and Procurement at Agri-Exim Organic Limited, and vastly experienced in agriculture extension, agribusiness, climate sustainable agriculture, organic agriculture, and he has served in various capacities with NGOs and social enterprises in Uganda. Thank you very much for joining us. I'll be waiting also for a panelist, that is Mr. Abineno Walter, who will be joining us, or you can confirm to me the host if he's in the meeting now. We'll also give his profile as enter. So as we dive in, as I told you.
Hello?
Yes, please.
I've been on.
Oh, you're most welcome. Please, members, join me. Also welcome Mr. Abineno Walter. So let me begin, as they say, ladies first, and she's the only lady on the chat. Madam Jamila we'll be covering on we'll be covering topics on sustainable agriculture practices. So as a practicing agriculturist at the irrigation scheme in Pakwach,
Well,
please.
good
Okay.
evening.
Good evening.
Yes.
Yeah, would like to share with us and the entire group here, those people who are watching you live, to discuss for us some, to give us some specific sustainable farming practices that are suitable for this region. I think you're conversant with the region, and you will identify, because we know as you practice, the challenges that are faced by farmers in the region and the potential solutions for those challenges.
Okay. Thank you once again for this opportunity. I'll not like dive deep into this, as you said, primary agriculture, as per se. Now, first and foremost, it's true, I am a farmer in wildlife irrigation. Is there someone saying something? I'm not understanding.
No, I
You
think
can go on, please.
you go on. I've muted his mic.
Okay. It's okay. So, the first question is, in Greater Nibi or in the West Nile region, there are very many sustainable farming practices that we can do. In the irrigation scheme, as we can say, many a times people go into farming, not only in the irrigation scheme, but as I have observed, many people go into farming for different reasons. And now this one here, we are trying to see the agribusiness, the people who are doing farming for business to change their lives. One, it's a good thing. People can do farming anywhere, and in West Nile, everything works. It just depends on what knowledge you have in farming and exactly which crop you would want to practice, like in farming. One, agriculture is not a gambling business that you can go and you gamble, you bet, you think maybe if I do this something, you have to calculate your movement when you're doing your farming. Number two, farming is not like, you should never be pressured into farming. Just because someone did something, maybe planted and got well in maize or in rice, the next season, if you don't do your things well, you can never do farming very well. Now, as we say right now, wildlife irrigation schemes, there are very, very few people. But from today, I saw that the uptake of the farming in the irrigation scheme is at least improving, but not young people. I don't understand why young people are not so much into farming. That is number one. Number two, women are very few in that farming thing. So you will find that when you want to do farming, you should have knowledge in what you want to go and farm in. Let's say if you take rice production, because that is a high value crop, it is good for both home use and for economic purposes. So now when you're going into rice farming, first and foremost, you should polish your knowledge on that rice production. When you're supposed to farm it, how you're supposed to do it, the spacing, the herbicides, the pesticides, you can contact people. Lucky for us, or for me, I know a few of crop doctors, one of whom I've been like consulting so much is Mr. Wanadi James. He has been helping me a lot. And for young farmers, you can get people like that whom you can actually consult anytime you want. Now, number two, okay, the third or the fourth thing I would like to say about farming is that, I don't know, for some reason, young people or people in general in West Nile don't like working in groups. The challenges that we face right now as farmers is that the resources for doing your farming needs money. Not a lot, not little, but you just need money to farm. That is, if you want to do food security and for like economic purposes. Now, I don't understand why people go into savings groups for you only to save the money, and at the end of the year or at the end of some period of time, you divide the money just to eat. Me, I would suggest that since getting land is hard, getting labor is hard, even getting seeds sometimes is hard, sometimes getting like money for herbicides, pesticides can be hard. I would also want to push this forward that in this forum, we can come up with some ideas that we group young farmers or young people who are interested in farming to come up and start maybe a savings group, not to divide the money at the end of the season, but to support themselves in farming. At the end of the day, you find that when you get some little money, you're putting it somewhere that you know at the end of the day, you want maybe to do some rice farming or tomato farming or something of that kind. That way, it becomes more sustainable. You're not going to be under pressure to look for money elsewhere because right now, very many people don't have jobs. It is hard to get money. But the little money that you get, that you keep on saving, it helps to like get much bigger rewards at the end of the planting season. And another thing is people get excited. It is true, agriculture has a lot of money if you invest well and if you plan well. Some people do agree like agriculture for under peer pressure. The advice I can give you is you start small and you keep on increasing as you're learning the process. In other regions, like in Nebi or Irusi, maybe the rainfall is sustainable. But when you start maybe with an acre and you start with a crop that you know you can manage, in the next season, you can maybe go to 2 acres, 3, 4, and above. By learning that last season, I didn't do this well. This season, you can maybe increase to 2 acres and say, okay, since last season I didn't do ABCD well, this season you can improve on your production. Actually, that is how my farming journey has been. I started farming only from 2020. Up to now, I can tell you the knowledge that I have gathered in farming is different from the way I started farming. Right now, I can confidently say that I can do rice production, tomato production, soybean production confidently, even without consulting any of those like the agri extension officers or whoever is an expert in that farming. You can actually do it. So I beg to stop here.
Okay, thank you. I want to bring this to make it more practical because we are here to identify opportunities and take them. I believe many young people here don't know even about the irrigation scheme in Pakwach. In 1.5 minutes, you will tell us about that irrigation scheme and how can young people be part of it, like apply, get land. What does it take practically? Like you take us through those steps practically.
It's okay. Now, for you to get, anyone can actually get land and practice agriculture or farming in the irrigation scheme. It is open to anyone and everyone, so long as you're willing and able to do the following. One, you will need 50,000 for hiring 1 acre or 1 plot of land. At 50,000, that is per season. 2, you will need laborers because you know this irrigation is still a new technique being introduced in a place where no one has even ever practiced this before. So you will need laborers whom you will constantly need for them to be there, like to do the little works that come on the way. Because at the irrigation scheme here, we have like a board of governors. We have a chairperson, we have a committee like land allocation committee, we have the treasurers, and so forth and so forth. These are the people who guide the farming within the irrigation scheme. Now, for someone to do to produce, let's say I'm well conversant with rice. Let's say you want to produce rice in wildlife irrigation scheme. One, to hire 1 piece of one acre, you need 50,000. You will need at least 2 laborers to practice farming there. And for plowing, we always use tractors. 1 acre they plow at 100,000. And then harrowing, or second plowing, they do at 50,000. And then planting is at 60,000. Then weeding, at least you need to weed twice. The first weeding can go at 60,000, and then the second one, if you're comfortable using herbicides, that is okay. If you're uncomfortable or you want to go with organic farming, then you do weeding twice. Then the first and the second weeding will cost you like 120,000. All in all, you will need a minimum of 500,000 for you to produce 1 acre of what? Okay, not a minimum, a maximum of 500,000 to produce 1 acre of rice. Sometimes even this money doesn't reach like up to that level. That is if you manage your time well. That is all.
Okay, thank you very much. From your experience, how much do you get from an acre?
If well managed, you get a minimum of 15 bags of rice. That is of 100 kilos. Now, each kilogram of rice here, if it is super rice, a kilogram is, as we speak right now, is 1,800. And if it is Kaiser rice, it's 1,500. Now, when you get 15 bags of 100 kilos, those are 1,500 kilos, and then you multiply that by 1,800. If it is super, you're getting 2.7, let's say in 4 months.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I think young people, you're seeing where opportunities are. And let me another clarification. At 1,500, the rice is not processed and packaged.
No, it is the raw form.
Raw form. And that's why here now we are going to integrate this discussion with agro processing and value addition. So thank you very much. I'll be bringing you after, but I need to pick from Godwin as a trainer. We need to understand the importance of training and capacity building programs to educate farmers on these sustainable practices. So as you discuss that,
go ahead. How many metro rehabilitation?
Seems our moderator is also not there.
Frank, you confirm to me if Godwin is on the call?
Godwin sent a message that his network is not all that okay. So maybe you give opportunity for any other speaker to first take us through as we wait for his network.
Okay. I will pick up from James. I don't know if I can repeat for you the question. It was about on the importance of discussing the importance of the training and capacity building programs to educate farmers on sustainable practices in agriculture, while exploring partnerships, the existing partnerships with the institutions. It could be educational, it could be the district, it could be NGOs for that effective knowledge transfer. Godwin, James from Agri-Exim. Is James on the call?
Yes.
James, please unmute and join us. Hello? Okay, let me pick from Clement, who's the program lead at TP&O. Clement, are you there?
Hello?
Okay, I'm getting you. So I'll be crossing to the agro-processing and value addition. Okay, please, Clement.
Yes, please.
You need to identify to us, after understanding the significance in agro-processing, in adding value to raw agriculture products and reducing post-harvest losses and contributing to economic growth, please discuss with us some specific opportunities that are existing, especially from government side for agro-processing industries in Greater Nebi and West Nile at large.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm pleased to discuss this to you, that within the West Nile sub-region, especially the Greater Nebi district, we have specifically some value addition agro industries. They may not be on a large scale, but main agro food based industries which mainly deals in for now value addition to cassava, rice, and iris potato. And the groups that are currently benefiting from it are located right from Pakwach, Nebi, and Zombo. For purposes of this pre-symposium preparation, I'm not going to divulge to the whole of West Nile, but we know this has created some opportunity as government is encouraging PDM using commodity-based approach to commercialize agriculture and encourage irrigation farming. I know we have capacity and opportunities like beginning to organize youth groups like in engaging commercial farming, in agro-based industries, food chain. We also have opportunity to attract cold chain through logistics that will be arranged for food that are perishable in nature. Farm machineries, most youths require farm machineries to engage agriculture and encourage them to love agriculture. So we are also looking at how to mechanize and bring farm machineries that are going to target specifically youths. And this will help in the manufacturing sector and assembling most of the value chains in the way. And once you arrange that, the packaging will also attract a good number of youth in that product line. And you remember also irrigation-led production is going to be engaging mostly youth, especially some of these horticulture targeted crops and short maturing crops. So the opportunities are enormous, and they are not only limited to agricultural value chain, but there are things like edible oils, pharmaceuticals that use our products as food. So the opportunities in that sector will not be limited to only what I've discussed, but even the next discussion we shall open room for specific sector by sector engagement. Thank you for now.
Thank you very much for that. I love this where you brought in a PDM that is really prioritizing the commodity-based approach. It is also an opportunity in itself that we can really explore. Let me bring in James. Is James on the call?
Yes, please. I can hear you now.
Okay, please. You need to confirm for me if Okaba has been re-added on the call again, but James, you need to
muting just.
Okay, please. You need to explore for us strategies in agro-processing. Strategies in agro-processing that contribute to food security and reducing post-harvest losses. We understand here some young people, not only young people, but farmers here have been moving on roads from Zombo, here in Madiokoro, here in Nebi, if it is a season of mangoes. Ladies carry mangoes from sub-counties not within here, walking long distances to come and sell. But at the end of the day, if they don't realize the sales, they drop them in the Bikubo. Here you find mangoes rotting, which indicates that we still have a problem of post-harvest losses. So we see there is a window in agro-processing to contribute, number one, to food security, and number two, reducing post-harvest losses. So what could be those strategies?
Well, thank you so much, moderator, and good evening, participants. James, what I could say is that I want to pick from where my colleague stopped, especially from where the first person, Jamila, stopped. When we are looking at agribusiness or farming as a business, it's indeed that we still continue to get challenged, especially when it comes to agro-processing or adding value to the commodities that we have, and even the aspect of losses, which comes as a result of poor post-harvest handling. This is really very common. Like we all know that the statistic that we did one time around 2019 with some NGOs within Nebi, at least we were able to confirm that when we are looking at losses within, let me say losses that with the farming, when it comes to time of post-harvest handling, we realize that commodities like rice or like the cereal, our farmers are still able to register losses between, let me say, above 30%. We realize that even when you enter the
excuse me, Frank, may you mute all mics and you leave for James. Members, those who are not submitting, I request kindly to mute our mics.
Frank, kindly mute Clement.
Well, moderator can come back. Hello. Hello, moderator, are you able to get me?
Yes, yes, you can continue.
Thank you. I was just talking about post-harvest losses. That indeed it's happening, and we have witnessed it in many cases, and this is documented around not only that Nile, though West Nile still stand at a much larger volume than the other region. So one way that we can be able to through the training, and I believe the team, both from government actors, are doing their to train for different communities and how one can minimize losses in this handling process. And we see that, however, that to be able to get this properly, we need to also deliberate effort to start with the processing. Because when we go in and evaluation, we realize that some of the that into the processing facilities, and that in itself will also reduce on the burden of handling. Let me look at, for example, the fruits, like you talked.
Mr. Oyiro Tomam Ronald, can you mute your mic? You are disorganized the meeting.
You can
Mr.
continue, James.
Yeah, like the mango and other fruits which we are talking about. I can still that I know from Nebi, where mango is produced around Ategunde and that belt of Nyaravut. Indeed, I think we normally use less than 50% because 50% end up falling under the mango tree itself or along the roadsides. And yet, if we had a way of processing this and turning this into juice or drying them up, I think we can be able to maximize on our production and can also be able to increase on what sellable value will mean. But also, I've been into the trade perspective of it. You realize that even in our stores, when you go to the stores, you realize that even in those stores, there are still commodities which are getting lost. Like for example, when you enter a store where one is buying beans, you see the volume of beans that are getting moldy, or the volume of beans that are getting spoiled. Just there, even right from the trader's perspective itself, even the post-harvest handling is still being done poorly, and that put our commodity at a risk that we're able to lose both in terms of quantity, but also even in terms of value. So that is the aspect I can stop on for now.
Okay, thank you.
We
Thank
really
you
have to embrace that.
Thank you. You really emphasized on the point of training. Learning doesn't stop members. Our farmers still need to dive into bring experts on the ground to be trained, because it's still a huge challenge. It is still huge. You said you did a research at what percentage was it, and what was the scope?
Yeah, we way back when we are starting one project within West Nile. I mean, that was Nuri. When we did that ground checking, we realized that harvest loss was accounting to between 30 to 41% for grain businesses, for grain commodities.
That is a very, very huge loss to the farmers. If you couple it with being cheated by middlemen, if you couple it with the initial investment, I think even here, Madam Jamila netted on it, like it is income intensive agriculture. I just shared a picture how many young people to afford that 500 that they go and they put in rice farming. So I'll pick it from Kelement. Kelement works with National Agriculture Research Organization, if my memory serves me right, what NARO stands for in full. And it has been a leading agency in terms of technology and innovation plus research in the agriculture sector. So, Kelement, you need to shed the light to us if technology is important in the modern agro-processing. And members here would like to know what is the role of that technology in modern agro-processing, and how can it be put to use in the perspective of a farmer in West Nile, but also to reduce the scope to be specific in Greater Nebi. Clement, are you on the call? Frank, you confirm to me if the panelists are online, are on the call?
I can see Mr. Clement is on, but I think maybe he has some challenge with unmuting.
As he does that, James, within the research and experience in this sector, are there some key examples that we can learn on from that have really employed the strategies you highlighted in agro-processing and value addition that young people can learn from within Greater Nebihia?
Well, thank you. That indeed processing is still at a very low level of practice within Greater Nebbi and West Nile at large, but with different companies currently doing milling flour from maize, and also they're into oil pressing from sunflower and the soybean, also into chicken rearing and feed mixing. So that is where they started from. At least they're able to buy the commodities right away from the farmer's field. I have on many occasions linked them with some of the producers or the farmers, and then they pick them right away from the farmer's field, and they're able to take them to their facility where they're able to get those products. But also we know that we have other cooperatives which are in place, like the Merber cooperative. We also have one other person who is doing it at the Tata Center. And also we have also these cooperatives for cassava in Omier, which is also doing it. But also when you move, especially to other areas, like in other commodities which are not necessarily grain, like in cotton, you see it. I mean, like in coffee, you see there are many small cooperatives and farmer groups that are now into wet processing. All those are avenues and ways of trying to minimize on post-harvest losses. And this is happening. Some of them are being supported by NGOs, others are government initiated, but others are individual initiated as a business. I think that is growing and that is likely to reduce on the loss burden. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I know agriculture is broad, and here we've been now mostly into the agronomy part of it, growing of plants and crops. So I need to first confirm before I bring in Walter. Walter, are you on the call? Thank you very much, James, for doing a service to this question and going a further step ahead to explain to us to understand and giving us these examples. And I believe these are the people that we know, these are the processing groups that are there. We can reach out and to learn further. So I think what I would request to the hosts, if they can do some documentation and they share these stories and how they have made it possible, the challenges that they are solving in the community, and the returns after agro-processing and value addition, and they share with young people. It could also be a motivation. Walter, I need to confirm if you're on call. You unmute.
Robert, I'm on.
Okay, thank you very much. So we talked about opportunities in agro-processing in West Nile and how they can be utilized for economic growth. I also discussed on how the agro-processing and value addition can help to address the problems in the community for food security and post-harvest loss. So can you walk us through that in the subsector of animal husbandry?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Robert. I greet.
Sorry, I would also request you to introduce yourself for the group to understand.
Yeah, because you didn't introduce me. My name is Abinen Walter. I work with Nebbi District Local Government. I'm the Animal Husbandry Officer. I've worked with Nebbi District Local Government for now 7 years. So I think I've been in the communities, and majorly I've been working with livestock farmers. Though with the nature of our work, you don't avoid crossing into the other farmers. So in other words, I've been interacting with the other farmers as well. So to answer or to have a say on what you just hinted on, I wanted to make a brief introduction into livestock farming, which is the other part of agriculture. Agriculture is the growing of crops and rearing of livestock. Livestock, we mean cattle, goats, chicken or poultry, pigs, all livestock. So this is one of the key pillars of global food system. And this greatly contributes to poverty reduction, food security, and agricultural development. And that actually says livestock contributes to about 40% of global value of agricultural output and supports about 1.3 billion. Currently, we have a population, global population is about 8.1. So you can see the significant contribution that we are making to the global population. It plays a number of roles. It's an asset, it is a safety net for the poor, and especially women, youth, and the pastoralists. And then source of livelihood as well for these groups. But then the socio-economic role of livestock. The socio-economic role of livestock has been increasing and is on the increase, and basically due to human population increase and people now making more money, and of late the trend of urbanization is even evident in NEBI. We see NEBI expanding slowly and the trends of activities in the town. That has really emphasized the roles of livestock. And actually in 20 years to come, we predict that the demand for livestock products will double. And with all these, all we need are the rightful policies and investment. And if we can do that, then livestock is going to be a game changer. I'm not trying to compete with my counterparts, the crop people, but I want us to see possible ways, because we need to go with what work. If livestock can work for us, then the better. And then you specifically wanted me to address the issue of agro-processing and value addition. And we've been farming, we've been producing, and that seemed to be the missing link. And we realized that without that, then the element of agribusiness ceases to be there. Because if the farmers remain at the same level, what they're getting from whatever activities they're trying to do, then we are not growing and we are not making any contribution to these farmers. And in this case, these are the young entrepreneurs. So how do we make these entrepreneurs, these farmers, get the most out of whatever activities that they are doing? Are there any opportunities for agro-processing and value addition? Yes. We have, for the case of livestock, we have the raw products. We have the needed raw products. We have the milk, though on a small scale for us, West Nile, but we have some milk, which value can be added to. We have our cattle, the zebu, that for so long has been cherished. Despite the size, the meat is actually ranked highly. And then in addition to other opportunities, the growing population that I hinted on income, urbanization, and right now the issue of health concerns. This means that people have to be processors. Farmers have to now target the demands of their consumers and be specific in what these people want. We know people do pork, but these days they want the less fatty ones. So that means when we are producing pork, we need to target who our consumers are and try to be as exact as possible, as efficient as possible. But also we've got favorable policies as opportunities that we can take advantage of. We've got right now, the government is running the agro-industrialization policy that emphasizes agro-processing and value addition. But also we are going back into trying to develop our cooperatives. Sooner or later, we shall need to see 1 or 2, 3 livestock cooperatives in Greater West Nile, which I'm sorry to say that we still do not have. And we all know the comparative advantages that come with farmers getting together. But also, right now, the government is championing water for production. It is a key and a big area that the government is trying to promote. Plus also markets, domestic, national and international markets. You know, we are the border and you know what that means. But also key is manpower, both skilled and unskilled. We have a number of public extension workers, private ones that our farmers can take advantage of. That can these farmers can use to guide them on agro-processing. So key strategies that I feel we can employ to enhance livestock processing and value addition to promote and see that our farmers get really the most. One, we know the policies are there, but can we actualize? Now this goes to government. Uganda is known, I'm sorry to say this, for putting in place very nice, beautiful policies, but implementation has always been a problem. So can we actually actualize, put into work these policies that we are bringing, these very nice policies that we are bringing? If we do that, then we are going to render the needed support to our farmers, but also livestock extension skilling programs need to target now agro-processing and value addition. And if we are going to target export markets, which should be definite, because if we are to add value, then we would look for better markets. Sudan is one of them. We thank God that they are not very strict, but other better markets are too strict. And that brings in the issue of food quality and safety standards. We know they're there, but that seems not to be taken with a lot of importance. I'll give you examples. For example, meat production. We are municipal, and the policy or the standard requires that all animal slaughters are supposed to be done in the designated places. Slaughterhouse. We have a slaughterhouse in Abindo division. That should have been one place that should accommodate all these sort of slaughters that take place. But we need to be true to ourselves. When you move around town, we've got very many roadside slaughter points and sale points for meat, milk product. But the question is, are those products very safe for consumption? As much as we can accommodate that in Uganda or in Nebi, the immediate district or the immediate country may not take that for granted. So we need to cultivate that. We need to cultivate the issue of food quality and safety standards, but also the needed infrastructure in terms of electricity, in terms of reliable water, and of late roads, like for the case of West Nile, is key. If we are to achieve agro-processing and value addition, that needs to be put in place. And then the promotion of this has to go hand in hand with promotional activities, export promotion. Then can we give incentives for new products coming on board, for innovations, I mean, but also subsidies for the equipment, the technologies that we are going to use in agro-processing and value addition has to be catered for. And lastly, there is the issue of environmental friendliness. These technologies that we are bringing on board have to be environmentally friendly, because if not, as much as we will be gaining from this end, would be only leading to a death trap from the other hand. So these technologies that we are thinking of, can they be environmentally friendly, so that these can be motivational factors for attracting donor funding for those who are good at project proposal writing. So Robert, that is the little that I wanted to hint on in regards to agro-processing and value addition, though I thought I would also highlight the areas of sustainable livestock production to enhance production.
We'll explore it. Sustainable animal production, we will really explore it.
Okay.
I needed to bring in Clement from NARO as the lead agency in terms of agriculture research at national level. We see this is a study where they are trying to see what are the limitations to expanding agro-industrialization. There are many challenges, but I'll single out a few. One challenge was on the agricultural exports, preserving markets. We serve in a market, but after that, we cannot even sustain the needs of the market. Those who normally use this road from Kampala Road towards Ruwero, after Ruwero, there is a joint investment program that was entered into with Uganda and Egypt to supply meat. You know what happened. I have a friend of mine who got a contract. He was on a business travel and got a friend from Dubai and had a farm of around 300 rabbits. I don't know here in Nebi or Greater Nebi if there is anybody with that farm. I need to learn. Over 300 rabbits. And he was happy to get a contract, but the contract required him to supply 300 times like 100. That is 300 rabbits per month. He couldn't even go for that contract. So how do we preserving markets? Then supply side constraints. You talked about the issue of certification standards. It is important. To give an example, in the oil and gas industry, people need supply of food, fresh food, but we see people who come out of the Albert and Graben are coming up to take markets because the people they are not conversant with the issue of standards and certification. We will go to that, but I wanted to talk on this low capacity utilization of processing units. We are saying we need infrastructure, we need electricity in West Nile to improve agro-industrialization, but we see as a country, we have processing units that have been existing, but we poorly utilize them, that the utilization, it is at low capacity. At low capacity. If I'm to give you maize, it is less by 22%, honey 17%, beef that you talked of, it is less than 20%, coffee, which is here in Zombo, 40%, dairy 65%. So to Clement, aren't we advocating of what we cannot chew? Aren't we advocating of what we cannot chew in terms of those facilities? But also, I want you also to take us through, through the understanding the role of technology in this modern agro-processing. The role of technology and what are those technologies? I think you have access to them as a lead agency in terms of research at NARO. If Clement, you're there, please unmute and take us through this. Clement, are you there? Clement. Frank, you confirm to me, please, such that we save some time.
Yes, I'm going to do that, but Mr. Kaba Godwin is back online, so you can slot in. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. And okay, it will not be structured as I planned it because of the challenges in technology in picking up the panelists. So I'll be picking questions from the 3 topics that we've prepared. So let me go to Godwin as an expert in exports, but also we need, before we go to exports, to analyze the strategies that enhance market access. So we are talking about production. We see that we have our raw milk, we have our cattle meat, goat's meat. They talked about products from the agronomy side, other speakers before Walter. So what strategies can we here in Greater Nile and West Nile explore to enhance the market access for our agricultural products? So they should be like, how do we develop our local markets? How do we improve on transportation infrastructure? And also tapping in the creating online platform, because COVID-19 really exposed us. It really exposed us that we can also tap into online platforms or online markets. Godwin? Godwin, are you available? Is Godwin available, Frank? I'll take silence as as no or yes.
Yet trying to unmute his mic.
Really, I don't want to miss him on this time. I really don't want to miss him this time. Okay, as you try to unmute, I will give some minutes to Walter. You talked about sustainable animal production. I don't know up to what percentage are we on. You can give an example in Nebi, or if you have a picture for West Nile or Greater Nebi, you give it to us. But me as a person, I feel really we are not tapping into this potential animal production. It is not fully utilized in Greater Nebi. So how can we really fully tap and utilize that market segment of animal production and improve on sustainable animal production. Walter, in 1-2 minutes.
Yes, Robert, thank you. You were requiring the percentage. I don't know which percentage, whether percentage coverage, but I wanted to say this. One is that we've got quite a number of species and breeds that have been proven to actually work for us. We've got poultry, we've got cattle, goats, sheep, pigs, like I aforementioned. These have been kept, these have been reared, and have been proven to actually work for the people of West Nile. And to make it even better, these days we have commercial breeds. That is to try and bring in the element of agribusiness. We've got commercial breeds of poultry, some which you need to just rear for 1.5 months, and you'll be in business. You'll actually be selling. That is the meat birds. And then likewise, we've got commercial breeds of goats, improved breeds of goats that you can sell at the level of a cattle. There are goats that go for 500,000. That is a goat that you've reared for a year or a year and a half, and you're selling at 500,000. In addition to that, we've got the land, we've got the feed resources, we've got the labor that is needed, and we've got the market for some of these products, both domestic, national, and international markets. So I feel if at all the coverage is still low, then it should be that people haven't seen the opportunity that the livestock subsector holds. And this is a humble call that we see that and see that we can actually make as much money from livestock as you're making from other enterprises. But what we need to do right, it is true we've had the livestock, but we've remained in the traditional culture that we grew up with, and yet things are changing. Day by day, things are changing. New technologies are coming on board, which we needed to embrace. And key among us, what we are emphasizing or we are advocating for is that right now we need to start working with the professionals. I like what the other lady, the first speaker told us. It shouldn't be an excitement that should drive you into farming, but should be something that you have made your decision to undertake, and that would necessitate you working with the professionals, those who know. Otherwise, you will go wrong. But also key, we are doing what is called now breed improvement. We want to aim for better yields of milk, very many piglets, that is for pig, or faster growing animals like for poultry. The broilers, we have got broilers. These have performed quite well, and we have them here. But also key is the issue of housing and nutrition. This especially applies to poultry and piggery, because we have seen with the climatic changes, the incidences of diseases have also increased. So if you to make the most out of some of these enterprises, poultry, piggery, then the element of housing is part and partial. But also key is nutrition. These days we are talking of precision feeding, not wasting any feed. That is agribusiness, making sure that you're maximizing the inputs that you're putting into these enterprises. And then we have the issue of healthcare, starting with welfare of these animals, of these livestock, the issue of biosecurity, hygiene, vaccination, to mention but a few. But also key is record keeping and agribusiness. So we are seeing that I know we have farmers, we have young farmers on board. And my question would be whether they are implementing what I just read, whether it is a repetition to them. And if it is true that they're implementing, has it worked? Has it caused a difference for them? That is probably the feedback that I would want to hear. But also, I wanted to emphasize a few innovations to key challenges that we are facing in the livestock sector. One is the issue of feed. You know, like during dry season like this, we've got feed shortage, and we are encouraging farmers to do what we call feed preservation and precision feeding. But also, we are trying to promote automated systems for watering, for feeding. These have been found to preserve the quantity of water of feed that is used, but also keep the quality of these two intact. In piggery, there is what they call nipples. In commercial pig farming, farmers use nipples. They give exactly what your pig wants to take, but also it is the quality of water is always very clean. So these are some of the technologies or the innovations that we are trying to promote. But also key, we've got what we call genetic engineering and breeding technologies, that we get the best breeds. This can be both artificial or natural. And then lastly, we are encouraging value addition. Sorry, you were not really satisfied with the level at which we are producing and whether that necessitates value addition. But we would, for now, the problem is over being overambitious. We would still work with the markets that we have. And if the demand is increases, then we look for fast ways of increasing our production before taking up the market that are coming. But I feel the current market that we have need value-added products as well.
Okay, thank you very much for those strategies on how to improve sustainable animal production. I want to array your fears that we shall have time for Q&A, where members will be sharing and asking those questions, also to provide feedback. We will have that. Then also, I wanted to first call in members. I don't know if Godwin, you're on the call again. Before I leave this and we go to the last segment.
Yeah,
Godwin?
yeah, I'm around. But network has been disrupted. I'm
okay,
on.
so sorry about that. We are talking about agro-processing. And from your profiles, I've seen that you've had a chance to learn from the best in terms of agro-processing. This is Israel, using the small piece of land, and they maximize in terms of production, agro-processing, value addition. So what opportunities did you see there that can be replicated in Nebi, Zombo, Pakwach, that is Greater Nebi, and West Nile? You share with us in terms of those opportunities in agro-processing that can be replicated here locally.
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to apologize. I've been using the computer, trying to unmute was a problem. That's why it resorted to the phone now. At least now I've connected back. About the various opportunities that are that I saw in Israel. One is, the beauty is, the first one is actually the climate.
we are very lucky that our climate is so favorable compared to there. Israel is a desert. Sometimes the temperature would go to about 40 degrees, 35. So at some point they were abnormal. The first thing is, yes, our climate is favorable. We don't actually need irrigation systems. That's why we can be able to see or notice green vegetation everywhere. However, while that side, everything you see, every green plant you see, there's a pipe running under. That means it is being irrigated. Then we look at the soils. Our soils are really fertile. However much a bit of Pakwach and Nebi experience a dry spell, a prolonged dry spell, but of course it's much fairer and much better than Israel. Then when we look at our ability to also, our products are actually organic. We don't however much we are using these chemicals, we are not so much into chemicals. That actually makes it, if we are to maybe run an export, we stand an upper hand of fetching higher prices. For example, an orange at world market, just a piece of an orange goes for about $5. That is organic. But inorganic goes for about $3. That means there's a difference of around $2 per product that we have, or there's a high difference of the differences in prices of what our products are. Yeah, that is brief I can share about that. However, when we relate it to production, the Israelites are more hardworking than us. Why? Because most of us, we are lazy. They start nurturing their children when they're still young in management. They're so much into cooperatives. That's why they beat us. They have cooperatives for fresh fruits. They have for vegetables. They have for citrus, for flowers. Everything they produce is basically for export, and they export them through cooperatives. That's why they're able to meet the volumes that are demanded in the world market or by the different buyers. Yeah, that's all I want to say for now yet.
Thank you very much for that brief sharing on the opportunities. What I pick that they are hardworking. People in Israel that are hardworking, they are mentored from young age. And we need to start to change the mindset, especially young people. We still have the opportunity to live longer. Changing the mindset to treat agriculture as business, not for mere food production. So that's why even Walter hinted on it, that you'll see some people who have been doing animal husbandry, those who are growing crops, the quality of life remains the same. It stays stagnant, and you find that it cannot even inspire somebody to come and venture into that, because what is the value add? So until we change our mindsets to treat agriculture as a business, to know I have put 5,000, I have to do all what it takes in a sustainable way. Let me put that disclaimer, to get more than 5,000, which is a profit. So until we change our mindset to take agriculture not for only food for home, that is a subsistence farming, until we commercialize. Until then, we are still not doing well. Godwin, I wanted you to on the entrepreneurship and innovation. We believe these are drivers also for agro-processing, and which could be also an opportunity in the region. If I mention region, I mean Greater Nebi and West Nile region. So what ways can we encourage startups for young people to venture into agro-processing, also producing raw products, that is now agriculture, primary agriculture, producing those products for agro-processing, and how can they be supported to increase innovation in the processing of those processing methods in the agro-processing?
Could you repeat the last question? The network broke down a bit.
Okay. we see the nexus of entrepreneurship and innovation. They are critical drivers in agro-processing. So we need to explore ways on how to encourage these startups for young people to venture into it, and how can they be supported. Godwin, are you picking me?
Thank you. Ever much I never got the question. Yeah, ever much I didn't get the question so clearly, but it's okay. I can have a brief discussion on the entrepreneurship part that you are talking of. How can we encourage the young people? You see, when you're looking at agriculture itself, production has been there. We have been producing right from actually our grandparents have been into production. And sometimes we talk of, yes, agribusiness has come in a context. The entrepreneurs are there. These are basically the business people who are also venturing into agriculture sector, do production or farming as a business. If we're not so strategic, you will realize that production will continue. We shall do the same type of production day in, day out. And when you're not careful, you realize that the output, at the end of the day, the income at household level will always be low. Why am I saying this? You will realize that basically, if you look at the current trend, production is not going on. Production is going on, but what happens? You realize that the grassroots communities, all producers, all the farmers who are initially doing the production are the ones most especially, in most cases, affected. Why? Due to low prices offered by the different off-takers, maybe companies, be it individuals, who are also entrepreneurs. So however much we're going to discuss, yes, how can we encourage people to venture into agribusiness? Let us also put into consideration, let us not forget that, yes, however much at some point you become an off-taker, there's a link. There's that producer farmer down there. That's why you'll be able to see that, yes, if that producer farmer is well catered for, the person will be able to have the energy to do more production. Now, what happens? There will be boost in output or in volume that we are able to sell to either companies that do export or other things. In agribusiness sector, there are different opportunities. I can categorize them into three. We have the producers. These are basically the farmers. So the youth or the people are listening to us. If you can check yourself, you see where you can fall. Either you go into becoming a producer where you are at a grassroots level, you do production and sell. That alone is also an opportunity. You're able to get market. However, that is where at some point the farmers suffer in the most. That's the reason I was saying that there's also, in most cases, there's also exploitation at grassroots level, which needs to be addressed. You can become an input dealer. There are so many people are selling inputs for agricultural products. All those are opportunities. For example, we have in Nebi, in Paida, we have Shida Nakazi, Paul Shida Nakazi. We have Omi Agribusiness that is there. We have Furumit. All those are individuals who took advantage, also opportunities, and ventured into them. So but within Nebi, I don't know much about some of the input dealers that are here. Then we have the processors. The processors basically, in most cases, that a secondary stage. These are different. Maybe like I can put maybe the Scowcom that is buying coffee from farmers. They processes it to either green bean or parchment level. Then it is taken, transported for either export or stored within Kampala. We have agri-ecosystem that is there in the market, plus other key stakeholders. So all those opportunities that the youth or us can venture into. But when we have when one has also the financial strength or the financial muscle, can also become a processor. You set your processing plant and you're able to venture into that. Yeah, that's what I can supplement on that for now.
Okay, thank you very much. And even if you didn't understand the question you have, I wanted those opportunities where we can drive through innovation and entrepreneurship. So innovation in terms of processing, and you did even give some examples of people who are doing that, and it's an opportunity for young people. I know Mia farmers, I know these who are processing coffee around, and something that we can also see to develop the young people also to tap into. So I would like to bring James Wanadi, but I need to first confirm if you're still on call.
Yeah, I'm on call.
Okay, thank you very much. As we wrap up our topics today and we go to Q&A, our last topic on market access and export opportunities. Here we need to explore the importance of expanding the market access, because yeah, the market is there, but if you see the post-harvest problem is still there, then market is not. We are producing more than what we can consume, but there is a market out there that needs these products that we are producing. So how do we support farmers or those even who are hoping to join the business, the sector, on how to expand market access, and also look at the market beyond Greater Nebi, market beyond West Nile. Here, Greater Nebi, each district, even Arua actually, Adon Arua, they have the immediate access to Congo, which is also a market of many more millions more than our population. So what strategies can we use to enhance this market locally, also in international level, using the international our neighbors like Congo? How do we enhance that market for our products?
Well, thank you so much. And thank you for bringing me once more. Hello, are you able to get me?
I'm getting you.
Thank you. Yeah, just to start from, actually, like Mr. Okaba brought it clearly, our level of agricultural production is facing challenge when it comes to market. And the market is one critical production facing in the entire West Nile region, despite the availability of market. But why is it that our farmers are still complaining of access when actually when you go to the exporter side or the processors, they're also telling you that actually they don't have the commodities. I've been in this commodity trade business for the last 2 years, and I mean the last 4 years, and I have to say that one critical challenge that I've seen is that, number one, there is no commodity aggregators distributed all over across the region. The commodity aggregators are not there. We only commodity aggregators for some specific commodities like coffee, for example. When it is time for coffee, we have some few coffee buyers who are already available within the region. At least we could see that one distributed in all the neighboring areas. I mean, like the major coffee growing areas like Goli, areas like Zombo, areas like Zeu, Kango, War, areas like here in Erusi. At least we have these coffee buyers available. And when you look critical, that all of them are buying to feed a local processor or a local big dealer. Like most of them are buying to feed maybe to Kawacom. That is within Greater Nebi. But now when you look at other commodities like Sim, we have extremely very few traders who are dealing into that within Greater Nebi. I profiled only and only farmers, I mean traders who are able to buy capacity of more than 5 tons of Sim within the entire Greater Nebi. I only found those who are in the business are only 3 of them who are able to buy, and they are buying it. And when you go to Mariokolo, this is the same way. You go to Rhino Cab, and yet when you look at West Nile as a region, we are accounting for 53% of the total Sim produced in the country within Pakwash, Nebi Zombo. I mean within Pakwash, part of Nebi Mariokolo, and then you go a little bit into Yumbe side there. But we don't have the aggregators. That is one opportunity where the young people and all of us can invest in, even before we think of export. We have the opportunity right with us in the commodity aggregation and selling to the other people, the off-takers who are able to pick at least at some good level, give us with some money, and they're able to take to Kampala for processing. Two, when you come there, even the buyers themselves, they are not honest. The aspect of honesty is also a big issue, a big challenge that these buyers are facing. Like we saw, Olam was there, GADCO, Gula Agricultural Development Company was there. We know what happened with their cotton business. They give money to the traders to complement on their, or to supplement on their financing. But at the end of the season, some of the traders are not honest enough. They are not able to give back the value of what was paid for. That is also one critical challenge that I see. And that is an opportunity for us, meaning that if one can come in and be honest enough, and then you're able to continue business. And then the same proceed to other commodities. Like when you go to commodities like millet, commodities like sorghum, they're abundant and available, but we don't have the local traders buying them here. I have moved at the border with Koboko. When you go to Koboko, you go to Yumbe, you come to Mariokolo, where millet and sorghum are highly produced. You find that we do not have buyers who are indigenous of West Nile. All the buyers are coming from Kampala to buy from the farmers direct, and then they go back. And yet this is an opportunity for us as the people within. We can invest in our money there, buy from these people, and we're able to sell to these other traders who come and pick from there, or we can sell to the off-takers. The same with the soybean, the same with all these commodities. That is one critical area where we can start from. And then also, finally, the issue of quality can be addressed, because when somebody knows that I'm selling to you, Robert, who is also in my neighborhood, we stay in the same environment, I cannot do deliberate adaptation, sell to you. Meaning that because I know that you will easily trace me back, so that will be a problem within our community setting. So when we do that, as the local people take on the trade, definitely we'll be able to tell the people that this is the quality of what we need. And domestically, our quality of commodities coming to the market will definitely improve. Let me give you an example. I bought Simsim last year in mile 14 in Rhino Camp. In mile 14 Rhino Camp, one farmer decided to mix his Simsim with sand. In 3 bags, he has poured one basin of sand in each of them. But when we later discovered that the local community were able to hold him accountable, punish him for the wrong act. And that was an example that they could set, because locally they know that this is a trace down. When they adulterate the commodity and affect the business of the supplier, of the off-taker, then the off-taker will not be able to go back in that same place. And this is the same situation that happened to Olam. So I believe there is something that we can both benefit with in terms of quality of the commodity when we, the local people, take on the responsibility of buying from the people within, which is an opportunity, and then we sell to the off-takers. Thank you so much. Maybe if you allow me, I can quickly also tell you some of the few buyers that we have, which can be able to pick from the local, because I know some people could be interested in the business, but they lack whom to take their.
Very, very important. That was going to be my second question before I go to the next speaker. So you are highly encouraged to do so.
Thank you. We have some local, some key commodity buyers in this country that moves and come even within the community. Like my colleague Okaba made mention, we have Kawacom Uganda Limited, who are into coffee, Simsim, cocoa, and the other things, at least within our area, they are more into coffee and Simsim. Then we have Agriexim Uganda Limited, or Agriexim Organic International. We are into cotton, Simsim, shea, soybean, coffee, and the cocoa of late. All that is an opportunity where we can dwell in. We have the Gene Agricultural Science and Technology, which actually is based in Luweero, the into coffee and the Simsim. Then we have the White Nile Export Company, the into Simsim and coffee. We have the Capital Reef, the into Simsim. We have Discovery Trading Company Limited, the into Simsim. We have Gulu Agricultural Development Company, the into Simsim and cotton. We have Love Nature, the into Simsim, shea seed, and also cotton. Then we have the Africa Trading Company, they're into Simsim and also other commodities. Then also on top of that, we have AG Plateaus, the other Agro Plateau. These are Nigerian-based companies which are seated here in Uganda, also into Simsim, soybean and shea. We have the Kapeka Trading Company, commonly known the Kapeka Salim Saleh something, they're into Simsim, soya, and animal feeds. Then we have the Kike Tropical Fruits, which is there in Nakasongola, they're into fruits, and all these are. Then locally, we also have Omea Agribusiness in Arua. That has also been very critical in picking commodities, both soya, simsim, let me say, and vegetables from within our local farmers within West Nile. These are the critical few that I can make mention of for now. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I'll be picking a question, one question from two members.
Could I supplement before you pick it?
Want to supplement something in a minute, then you have a question for yourself about standards. But before that, then you will couple it together with that. As he mentioned, we see there is still a problem of standards and it is limiting our potential to penetrate into markets, and markets which is our problem. So how do we address this problem of meeting standards, both internationally? You've also participated in markets at international level. Mr. Kaba, I'm sure about that. Like in Israel, how do we meet these standards for the agricultural products? And before that, what is the role of these standards and quality assurance in terms of boosting exports, also consumption at local level? Did you get me, Mr. Kaba?
Yes, I got you very well.
Okay, please, you can carry
Okay,
on.
thank you. I'm going to incorporate all this and I answer at once.
Yeah, but before that,
Yes.
I'll request members with questions, please post the questions in the chat. I'll be reading them. Then we'll give members a few minutes to also complement.
Thank you very much. I wanted to supplement something on what my colleague James has just shared. Before that, I happen to be one of the trainers of SMEs, the small and medium enterprises. We basically train them on export readiness under Uganda Export Promotion Board, with support from Trade and Facilitation Office of Canada. We did trainings for Northern Uganda. We did for Central, that was in Kampala. Northern Uganda was in Lira. We did in Muvende, and one was in Kabale. I would say Eastern and West Nile, to some point, were disadvantaged. We didn't, but we had been thinking of the same. We can also use this platform to think of how we can enroll the same for our colleagues within West Nile who are into business and would also love to venture into the export market. I wanted to discuss something, maybe like for a minute, because it may help someone somewhere at some point about the export market, basically. When we're talking about the export market, basically here we're looking at, yes, business, maybe the selling of goods and services across borders, just within, with the main target of getting profit at the end of the day.
Mr. Kaba,
we have, you can do it directly.
Mr. Kaba, your network is
export,
breaking.
maybe export directly within to a certain country, or you can export.
Mr. Kaba, your network is breaking and you're giving us a very important information.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Directly to a company. Here now. Am I clear now? Hello, are you getting me?
We can hear you now.
Hello?
Let's go on.
Yes,
Okay,
we
okay,
hear
thank
you
you.
now.
So I was saying one can export. Yeah, I was saying that one can export directly to a country or can use a third party. That is an indirect one. You can use a third party that is already doing export with which has already a third party that already has the documentation plus other things and is permitted to export. Then we have an export where they call it actually re-export, where a company can export a product. That product is rebranded and re-exported. For example, you can take your coffee from here to Uganda to Congo as an export. Then the cover is removed. It is rebranded and exported to Southern Sudan. That one also happens. However, I wanted to highlight, maybe within just a minute, some few processes that are involved. If you need to run an export, what are you supposed to do? There are so many things that we need to do. Actually, before thinking of an export market, you are supposed to first look at the local market. How have you been able to satisfy the local market? Are you able to meet? In most cases, we say that yes, the market is there. Actually, most of these off-takers complain of volume. They'll tell you that we have the money, but we don't have the volume. Where is the problem? Actually, the volume is there, but the rate at which adulteration takes place is too high. So they realize that after someone buying 100 tons or metric tons of maybe coffee, you will realize that some good number of tons, maybe 2 or 3, are all chaff or rejects, or some others mention them. So what happens? You'll find that 2 tons is a loss for a company. Now, what happens with that? You'll find that now, when adulteration takes place, sometimes it demoralizes. That's why at some point you'll be able to see that the prices of our commodities go low. Net at international market, actually, the prices of our commodities is 10 times at international market. So that shows you the profit margin that different companies get, or the off-takers get. So when you need to export, what are you supposed to do? One thing is, if you have been able to satisfy people's needs. For example, let me take the simplest example of Omi Agribusiness. Omi Agribusiness started as a small company. They have been able to open their branches. They have been able to add other things. You find them in almost in all parts of Uganda, in West Nile up to around maybe Boyale. Now what happens? If they want to export, they have been able to test. They have been able to get customers' feedback. They have the human resource. So all those things are very, very important. How much have you tried to do? How much have you tried to invest in? Now, which processes? Maybe in a minute, so that I don't waste a lot of time. So when you make decisions and commitment to export, yes. Now you shall look at, are you ready to do the export? Do you have the capacity? Are you able to meet the volume? How about the quality of what you're producing? Take the simplest example, look at coffee, or even Simsim, from Pakwach here. What will happen? Someone buys Simsim or Shea. The Simsim or Shea is about 10 kilograms, okay, 80 kilograms. The 20 kilograms is sand. So who is supposed to make that loss? So if you're thinking of an export market, I think we need to organize ourselves. We start thinking of how to be more smart and make sure that we meet the target. Then we have to do market research. Which commodities? Which demand? Where is the demand? In which country? So when you have that answer, it probes you to go to the next one. Now, selection of the market. Which country? Which people are you going to sell to? That's why at some point it is very, very important to know that, yes, if I'm going to take my products to Congo, do I have a buyer in Congo? How are their behaviors? How is that? Sometimes, for example, when you're negotiating a deal, or a business, when you're negotiating a deal in business, what will happen is a buyer will come in trying to negotiate with you, not knowing that when you sit on a round table, you're not supposed to greet that person. So you're supposed to understand the culture of that same country. Other people wave. Now, when you wave in Uganda, they'll say, this person is Waiseking. But that is the culture. That is the nature of work. So we have to do enough research. The others will end up closing their faces, like the way some people dress. You only see part of their eyes. The others that make sure that if they come with ladies or with women, it is only the men who will discuss or will again. Then you look at the product. Which product are you talking of? Which variety? Which product is on market? Is it organic? If it is organic vegetables, yes. Are you able to? Do you have the certification, the organic certification certificate? So all those things, we need to put them into consideration. Then we have the market entry.
Okaba, I'm not getting you. I'm not getting you. I need to confirm from Sharon or Frank.
Are you getting me?
Yes, now I'm picking you. In a minute, please.
Are you getting me?
Yes, I'm getting you.
Yes, I was talking about. Okay. Then we have there's so many. The financing, the export plan. The export plan is like a business plan. Now, with an export plan, it is very, very important because it answers all your questions. It even it addresses the challenges that you're going to meet. It makes you prepared. It is more of a business plan. I think I can, with these ones, maybe if someone needs it more, can inbox me at a separate time. Then we need to know that, yes, how can we access the international? Which strategies can we deploy? Which strategies can we employ in order to make sure that, yes, we are also in the market? It comes back to, maybe, for example, one of the things I see is the issue of branding and product differentiation. How do you brand your product? How unique is it? So your branding has to speak for itself. It has to give the detailed information on where that product is coming from. I was happy one day I saw a coffee branded coffee from Erusi. And the photo was taken, and it was in the UK. It was in a supermarket. A coffee in Erusi. That shows where. That's why right now, when you talk about coffee, there's that issue of traceability in almost all. Because why? At some point, a buyer will want to know where is this coffee coming from. At the end of the day, the buyer will want actually to meet the producer. So it is very, very important. The issue of the packaging, the labeling, the packaging has to be eye-catching. When I see something, I have to go for it. It has to be something that you feel you cannot pass without touching it. Then we have the digital marketing system. Look at Jumia, for example. These guys are just online. You don't go to their shop. They're in Kampala. People make orders online. And that's how they've been able to capture the market. Why can't we do that? You have your Facebook. You are doing something. Why can't you use that to market what you are capable of or what you are doing? WhatsApp is there. Twitter is there. But above all, you have to do what they call market research. You have to know your consumer preferences. What do they like most? And what does that target market likes most? So when you gather information, you are able to get these feedbacks. Then you have to do more research. You have to make sure that you monitor the global trends. How are things happening in that state or in that country that you want to venture in? Then when you talk about the strategic partnership and collaboration, a minute, just 1 minute. If you can't do it yourself, you can partner with maybe companies that are already doing the export thing. And then above all, don't forget to, if you are an innovative youth that is doing something, don't forget to go for trade shows and exhibitions. When you go there, you're able to get contacts from different people based on the displays that you have on table. So there are a lot of things that we can do. I think for now, stop it there. But I wanted to, like maybe like for the women, I wanted, if there's any woman here who is into business and is doing something, there's a project actually, there's a training that is going.
I'm not picking you on that. I request you type that opportunity in the chat book. I'll be reading it to members. One question before we go to the questions, the Q&A session. Also, I'll be reading questions in the chat box. Members keep populating that chat box with questions, and I'll distribute them evenly to the panelists. I will go to Clement. I need to confirm if Clement is online. The hosts, Sharon and
Hello?
Frank, is online.
I've just come back. My network had gone off.
I need to confirm if Clement is online.
I don't see him.
Hmm.
Don't see him right now.
How about Walter?
No, not Walter
I see.
either.
Walter is
Walter.
on.
Yeah,
Walter is
Walter
there.
is-
Walter is there.
Walter
Walter is there.
confirm.
He's muted.
I'm on.
Okay. Now, for you, you work with the district, you work with the government, and we understand the importance and the potential for public-private partnerships in terms of enhancing the market access. How can farmers in Greater Nebi and West Nile collaborate well with the government agencies and explore the potential for public and private partnership to increase market access? Are there opportunities how farmers can collaborate with government agencies to enhance market? So it give us opportunities.
Yeah, thank you, Robert. The question you're asking all comes back to branding. The question would be, are our farmers having brands? Do our farmers have brands? And also, these days, government agencies, the government itself, and other development partners want to work so much with groups of farmers, people who are a little organized, and if possible with cooperatives. So we would try and see where we are in as far as that is concerned. But I think the level of our cooperation, the level of our coming together and being organized is still wanting. If we are to look at organization alone, be it at individual level, at individual farmer level, it is also still wanting. So in other words, where we are can still not attract partnership, can still not attract so many support. We can look back under ACDP program. It was until these farmers and farmer groups were reorganized into having their documents in place, and that is when the government was in position to work with them. So a key step forward would be for our farmers, including those who are on right now, to try and really organize themselves, brand themselves, be known for what they're doing, and put in place the needed thing. If possible, go ahead and register. The good thing these days, farms are registered, be registered, be known, and where there is need for you to pay some charges, make sure that you up to date. And with that, I think yes, the government wants to work with these farmers. A number of programs are actually targeting farmers in terms of equipping them and developing them.
Okay, thank you very much. what I read between the lines, what you presented, the government wishes to collaborate with farmers or farmer businesses that are formal. So
Yes.
one way to formalize, that is an opportunity. You need to formalize your business. You need to formalize your enterprise as a farmer, whether it is at production or value addition or even marketing. You need to formalize. And there are opportunities. There is an opportunity for those who want to venture into agro-processing of the industrial park. Last in December, I had a discussion with the Minister of Finance, Anite. She was mentioning that all production equipment that will be imported in the country, that will be in this industrial park that will be located in Nebbi on Pakwach Road, it will be tax-free. After setting up and applying for land to develop, access to water, electricity connection is free. So these are the opportunities. They can seem to be huge as individuals, but these are the opportunities that we can try to come and form groups, formalize, and tap into. There is an opportunity that Madam Jamila mentioned in the irrigation. So I will run to questions. And I'll be allocating them. Franca, you will help me if there are questions that I received that were typed in the chat before 4 minutes past 7. You will read them because I lost that chat. From iFed Technologies, thanks for the session. It has been indeed wonderful, and accolades to all presenters. So I have a few questions here which need to be responded to. Question 1, to what degree have we ventured into digital marketing and education? So I will allocate that to Godwin. To what extent? To what degree or what extent have we ventured into digital marketing and education? Question 2, how can local farmers source funding to boost production? How can local farmers source funding to boost production? I will allocate that one to Clement. And if Clement is not there, I'll give it to Walter. And you know why I'm interchanging Clement and Walter? At least they are working for, at least government, and the opportunities there for funding in agriculture. So this platform is big in my view. Is there a possibility of having a crowdfunding option or possibility of doing that, of doing a joint venture into crowdfunding? You can take it on, Godwin, crowdfunding, the online opportunities. Then he also needs support in regards to agroforestry. What other profitable agricultural ventures can I practice in his tree planting project that is now 4 years and the trees have grown beyond 3 meters? Can he plant into something? James, can you take on that question? Then there is a question also from Vince. Thanks so much, the moderator and the presenters, for these wonderful insights. I would like to understand more the procedures to follow up for getting a piece of land at the irrigation scheme apart from the 50K for rent. Madam Jamila did mention on the land access 50,000. Then cultivation, first one, 100K. I think she can also shed more light. I don't want to dilute her response. So let us take on the questions. I will start with Madam Jamila. Are you online? Is Jamila on?
Yes, please, I am.
Okay, you had that question from Vince?
Yes, I did.
Vince is interested. I think even you need to share contacts. We need action out of this so you can answer him. Apart from the 50,000, what is needed? In a minute.
Okay, as I said earlier, there is a board or there is a committee for land allocation. Once you're interested in getting land at the irrigation scheme, you have to get into contact with the chairperson, with the chairman and the vice of that irrigation scheme. Once you get into contact with them, they can actually easily guide you. Now, I don't know if I can share their contact here or I will text and then you read to them for anyone who is interested.
You share your contact.
Okay,
you share your
my number
contact in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, share your contact in the chat. It will be important for follow-up from those members. So we go to the next question about funding. To Godwin. Is Clement online? Godwin, you can take it on. The question was on to what degree have we ventured into digital marketing and education?
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very much. To what extent or degrees, I would categorize it that yes, at the producer level, the issue of digital marketing has been very, very low. Why? Because of most of the producers are illiterate, because of the level of illiteracy. So most people don't know how to use some of these phones, which has initially actually affected it so much. But when you go to at agro input level, these are basically input dealers. Somehow they've managed it. I can give an example. I will still refer it to me agribusiness. If you go every day, you'll find that they are posting each and everything that they do. So that is one of the references I can give. But ever much it is there, but it is still also low. Then at off-takers, it has also been basically I could say that general or average it is yet low. But if we take it up, it can be a turning point in our lives. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. James, are you online?
Yes, I'm online.
Okay. There is a gentleman who needs support in regards to agroforestry. He has an agroforestry project that is 4 years now, and his trees have grown beyond 3 meters. Is there anything profitable he can venture into and incorporate it into that?
Sorry, I didn't pick you well. Just a moment.
Okay, I will read directly the question that is from IFE Technologies. I need support in regards to agroforestry. What other profitable agricultural can I practice in my tree project, which is now 4 years?
Well, thank you so much. just picking it from the start of discussion. Madam Jamila mentioned that there are things which you do it from far. Like you need to first look at the tree and see the land. There one can be able to advise appropriately. I would advise you get in touch with any agricultural person within that to support him much better.
Yeah, it seems to be a technical question, and I would also buy your technical advice that reach out to professionals. Walter really emphasized it. It is a challenge. It is a challenge. We are doing agriculture as I cannot even call it passion, but try and fail. But when we explore these opportunities to seek for advice from the professionals, we can maximize. From IFE Technologies is asking, I will direct it to the hosts, can he volunteer to train digital marketing to people who would wish to tap into the marketing aspect, I think it is important and it is so much welcome. The hosts, they will respond to that. They will respond to that. I will welcome hands if their hand is blank.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, Walter, go on.
I will
Yes,
them
please.
and yes, please.
I wanted to hint briefly on the source of funding for boosting agri production. Yeah. One, there are considerations that would make the level at which this person is seeking for funding. Is this person a starter, or has this person moved already? Like for this case, this person wants to boost. But for starters, you don't need to start big. Like Jamila emphasized, you need to learn before you can actually expand. So for that, you can borrow from relatives and pay afterwards. That is one source. And then to boost production, we've got a number of financial institutions. We've got Centenary, we've got Stanbic, we've got SACCOs that are actually giving agricultural loans. And the securities at times are the gardens. You don't need so much stringent security. So that is an option, but only that the government has realized that the interest rates from these institutions are to some extent high and tend not to favor. So we've got government programs that our farmers could as well try out. PDM, the most famous. So all that this farmer need to do is join a group and subscribe to the parish bank. They should be in position to access some capital to boost their agricultural production. But also the second consideration is the level. And then for large scale producers, for commercial farmers, we've got the Uganda Development Bank that gives interest-free loan to boost commercial agricultural production. How the loans can be accessed, I think large-scale farmers can visit office of the district production officer and they can be guided on how to apply and access the loan.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. And much information beyond that can be gotten from the officers if they go to their production office. Frank, do we have some questions from the group?
Basically, you hinted on all of them. Let me see.
There is a question from Edgar.
Yes.
Says, Walter, can you clarify on goats farming? Can you tackle that in a minute, Walter?
It is very profitable, but requires sizable land. Goats do not like to be feathered. So if you're thinking of going into goats farming and want to make the best out of it, get sizable land, a minimum of 5 acres to start with, because they will need to roam, but also pay attention to healthcare. They'll need to be vaccinated. We just got hit last year by what I would call an epidemic. It wiped almost half of our goats population. So right now we are looking at how to beat that. They will need to be vaccinated and treated, deworm, but also invest in the best breeds. Boa is now good enough. They grow fast and to bigger size. Edgar, for more information, you can get to me.
Okay, thank you very much. I think I was also hit by this CCPP and CBPP invasion.
True.
I didn't know how I lost all. I lost all, but it is a nice venture. It is really profitable. So as we end, I'm not seeing questions. Maybe from my part, I've been noting out some suggested priorities to improve on this agenda of harnessing opportunities in agribusiness, agro-industrialization, and agrotourism, which we didn't cover so much today, and we'll have a day for it because we didn't have enough time. But before that, for the panelists, we'll have to get your parting shots or your concluding remarks on the theme. Our theme today for members who have not started with us, it is harnessing opportunities in the agribusiness and agro-industrialization, as well as agrotourism. I'll give each a minute to give your closing remarks. I'll be summarizing some strategy, some priorities as mentioned by you members, the panelists. Then we'll have closing remarks from one of members who is here, and I'm reliably informed she's the deputy for this business leaders under 40 CEOs, vice chairperson. So I will start with Clement. Is Clement on the call again? Let me pick
He
Okaba.
sent me a message that he had challenges. Network.
Okay. Let me pick it on from Okaba Godwin. In a minute.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity. It has been nice sharing. I just have one thing that there's an opportunity for women to be trained. Women who are in business or would wish to start business on export market, they can inbox me. There's a project called African Women Agribusiness Network, AWAN. So very soon, actually by this Sunday, would have gotten feedback on that. So if there's any member here or a lady here who is into that or would wish to participate, can inbox me after. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me pick it on from is James around?
Yes, please.
Okay. You're most welcome.
Well, thank you so much, moderator and the organizer. What I would like to say is my final word is that my brothers and sisters in West Nile and Greater Nebi, we have great opportunities for business within our land. Let us not only focus on export, let us not only focus at starting so big. If you realize that a young man going into production is difficult, please, there is a huge opportunity in trade where you can just be buyer of these different commodities and you sell to the different takers. There is a huge opportunity around that area. If you are interested in this, you can easily call me or inbox at any time or come to my office in Nebi. I will be very, very willing and ready to organize and connect you where necessary. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, James. Is Madam Jamila around?
Yes, I'm around.
Yeah, sorry, I'm calling. It sounds like a roll call, but issues of digital technology. But we shall adapt. So you can give us your closing remarks. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Once again, this has been a very great opportunity for us to actually explore the different options we have. Now, agriculture is a very rich venture. You just have to know where and how to start. I am willing to help those ones who want to come toward the irrigation scheme. For starters, we can pick up from there. Thanks.
Thank you very much. And personally, I'm coming, and other members who are inspired by your story, we shall come and join you. And we thank you in advance for the support pledged to support other young people here to venture into that irrigation scheme. From the panelist sides, lastly, I will welcome Walter. In a minute, please. Walter?
Yes, thank you, Robert. I want to especially thank the organizers for this. And I want to also say I'm grateful for the opportunity to share the little that I have. Fortunately, unfortunately, this is the work that I do. I'm hopeful that the little that we have shared is going to change the life of one or two of the participants. And I want to also say that we are blessed. Nebi, Zombo, Pakwach, and the other districts, we have extension workers. This is a Greek agribusiness, and you can't avoid to work with extension workers. We have extension workers in almost every sub-county. Please work with them. Share with them your challenges. They will be in position to help you. And please, let's work. Let's do a lot of working than talking. Let's at least start businesses and implement some of these brilliant ideas that we are getting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Walter. Before I welcome Shira to give the closing remarks, because we need to do it in a stylish way, because it was opened by Frank, who is the chairperson for the Greater Nebi Under 40 CEOs, and I'll be giving an opportunity, but to summarize it, the recommendations, we'll categorize them in 4 priority areas. 1, there is need to focus on value chains. There is an urgent need to rationalize and prioritize the value chains that are to form the focus on the future of the national agro-industrialization efforts. So if we see that is a priority, and as a country, as young people, we need to venture into that for local economic development, we need also to see how do we rationalize that, and which is key are also captured under the priority area under the National Development Plan 3 and the 4 that is coming to existence. The second priority area, it is on agricultural productivity. We need large and persistent agricultural production. And how do we tap into that? Introduction of these innovations, technology, irrigation. We are seeing how climate change has contributed to extreme weather conditions and change in terms of seasons. Godwin talked about how we are braced in terms of weather vis-a-vis Israel, but we need to understand the status is changing, the context is changing. How do we support farmers to buy in and venture into irrigation to do the year-round production, to also sustain the market, to increase in terms of raw materials production for the industrialization, which is important. And this is an opportunity. I would call it a virgin opportunity for young people to tap in. We need also to see the role of the government, appropriate role of the government in fostering agro-industry sector, to provide for those needs in terms also of policy, also increase the budgetary allocations to support the required needs, or to cater for the gaps that are there. We need a more enabling environment. How does the role of government in countering counterfeit inputs on the market? The aspects of electricity, the aspects of infrastructure, roads. So to address these supply constraints, we need the role of government, and it has to be intentional, and it is needed. Also, I've been asking questions about statistics. Statistics, as I was preparing for this, I saw a huge gap in terms of statistics. So we need also to improve on that. So those are the 4 areas that I can really try to put into this discussion. How to summarize it: focus on value chains, agricultural productivity, the role of the government, and statistics. Thank you very much, members, and thank you for the opportunity, the hosts, to host today's pre-symposium. I go back to the chat. I thank you very much, Mr. Simwe, having this wonderful meeting. Thank you very much, members, those who joined us from the beginning and still with us. Thank you very much for sparing your time, and much more will be communicated. So without further ado, I will welcome Sheila. I don't know, Sheila, if you're on the call, to give us closing remarks, and we'll end it from there. Thank you very much, members. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Frank, for supporting me to host this pre-symposium session. Sheila?
Yes, Robert. I hope I am the Sheila.
Okay, I'm welcoming Sheila, the vice chairperson. You're the one.
Oh, thank you. So I would love to say that I am overwhelmed and beaming with a lot of pride and joy to be part of this historic moment. And I'm so happy to be part of the team behind this. And special thanks to the great people, Sharon, Frank, Xavier, and a number of young people that have tirelessly worked hard to ensure that we are at this level. And I would love to say that thanks to the panelists for the wealth of knowledge and information that you've shared with us. And to every young person here, we need to tap and leverage on such opportunities and wealth of knowledge to be able to tap into some of these opportunities, market opportunities, and what they present us as young people with. I'm so happy, and I'm very grateful to all the organizers of the pre-symposium event webinar. And I'm very sure that quite a lot out there has been discussed. And we have very great people in the region and outside the region that have steered this process. So just to pick my ending remarks from what Robert has just said, or what he has summarized. One is that it's without doubt that we need to shift the manner in which we do things. And the shift is only going to be possible if we appreciate the challenges, the opportunities that are before us, but also if we are very uncomfortable with certain situations around us. And so you will realize that agribusiness treats the different aspects of rising agricultural products as an integrated system. And therefore, it is very important for farmers, for everybody who is doing any kind of business, to understand that the context keeps changing, and therefore we need to move with the changing context and the demands, but also the increasing challenges around. Manufacturers have developed increasingly automated systems. We have seen over the years the technology advancements, and so they require very little labor to produce more. But also we've seen consistently over the years processing plants, renewing how they operate. If you talk about crop production, if you talk about livestock packaging, if you talk about any of the products, so to make it much more cleaner, to make it efficient. So everybody is striving to ensure that they add value to the system. And I'm very happy that today we are discussing about value chains, developing value chains and not supply chains. But I'm also happy that we're talking about diversification. And these are the conversations that we need to boldly have. And it's until people embrace that agribusiness is just not a matter of us going into business as a trial. Somebody mentioned it here, try and error, but deliberately taking into consideration the different aspects of markets, including production, processing, distribution, and how the industry, the traditional industry or the traditional economy works. And I look forward to so many of these conversations. And I would like to say that the region that we are discussing here, West Nile, has very good potential and high potential to actually move that economy from within the domestic economy itself, but also being able to attract large-scale investments and increasing, income at household level and so on. But we cannot do that if the system is separated. Therefore, we need an integrated part of the system. As I wind up, I want us to draw attention to how climate change has increased the pressure on the need for sustainable practices in that industry. So just as it's already adjusting to vast differences, of course, in weather patterns and so on, most importantly is that we need to have sustainable approaches that are resilient, that are able to bounce back, that are able to build capacity of everybody in the economy to adapt or even to mitigate the effects of climate change, but also the pressure. There's a lot of pressure, constant pressure from global competition, especially when it comes to products such as wheat, soybean, and so on. It's really, really, it's tight. That's what I can say. And it makes it very difficult if we do not take into consideration some of the key aspects for us to be competitive in that market. And so it requires agribusinesses that operate more efficiently, but also, most important, involving investments in new technologies and of course, bringing goods into the global stock take or the global market. So global prices influence the way we do things, making crop planning very complicated. Farmers have less, of the technologies that we need, climate change, and so quite a whole multifaceted kind of factors influencing and changing the market architecture. But at the end of it all, such conversations, such information sharing, such learning platforms give us the upper hand in terms of tapping into such opportunities, into registering our businesses, into being able to network and coordinate. The market economy requires a well-coordinated and a well-networked system for us to be able to navigate through. So with all the so many words, I would love to say that it's been a wonderful evening, and I don't want to take a lot of our time, but we look forward to the real event, but also some of the actions that are leading up to the symposium. And we look forward to seeing how this brings us together to be able to identify. I have had the privilege to implement so many agriculture programs. And so one of the things that we've been talking about, and it has also been said in another way, is rationalization. But for us in agriculture, we talk about zoning. And we are very happy that we've been able to identify some of the of the crops, some of the livestock that we can involve as a region and grow in those value chains and be able to become specialists in certain value chains. And this is exactly what we want, such that we're able to get ourselves out of poverty, but also be very, very influential in our socio-economic transformation and also partners in nation building. I thank you and wish you a very wonderful evening.
Thank you very much, and thumbs up for you for that powerful closing. And when a big drum sounds, small drums shouldn't sound again. So again, thank you very much for your time members who are still on the call. And we believe that information for other activities that will be rolled up before the symposium, they will be communicated in a timely manner as they communicated this one, for us to engage and participate in development of our communities and the country at large. Thank you very much. Until we meet again, I remain your host, Robert Atsimwe. Thank you very much and good night.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We meet again next Friday.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, everybody, for the amazing work. Bye.